Welcome to Get the Facts. This is the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. We are at that time of the year again when public officials are being reminded to file their statutory declarations. Manager of Declarations at the Integrity Commission, Joeth Jones-Hall, who is no stranger to our program, is here again to nudge those individuals. So, welcome once again to our program,
Thank
Lady
you,
Jones-Hall.
Mr. Henry.
All right, let's jump right into it. How does a public official know that they are to file a statutory declaration? And I also want you to just fit in there what the statutory declaration is.
Okay.
All right.
A statutory declaration is a declaration of income, assets, and liabilities that is required by the Integrity Commission Act.
Right.
Many public officials are required to file a statutory declaration. So you're required to file one if you earn 3.5 million and over annually.
Right.
You may be required to file if your position or your function is stated in the Jamaica Gazette annually.
And that's regardless of the income level.
That's correct.
Okay.
Police, all soldiers, all parliamentarians are required to file.
Okay, so I'm seeing, just to make this super clear, this is a list of you're either this or this or this, not necessarily have to be all three.
No, that's correct.
Got you. All right, so I took a look at the form. I went on the website. There's a website you can access the form at. I took a look at the form and I realized it's very detailed. It asks me about land and if any kind of land, any kind of asset, bonds, bank accounts. Do I have to give all this information?
Right. So, Mr. Henry, in order for us to ascertain what you have earned, whether what you have earned is proportionate to what you have accumulated in wealth for a particular period, we must have all of that information. So, you're asked to file and give us information with respect to all your assets, liabilities, and income.
Just mine?
No, not just yours.
Okay.
So anyone who is connected to you, well, not anyone, your spouse, your children over the age of 18, whether or not they're living here in Jamaica or abroad, you are required to provide that information as well.
All right. So this is a matter of transparency, inspiring trust.
That's correct.
Got you. So take us through. I've filled out the form. I've gotten over that hurdle. I've done it. Everything is listed. I submit. What happens next?
Okay. So once we get that form, we will examine. The Integrity Commission is mandated to examine all statutory declaration submissions which are received.
So you're not just taking what sorry to jump in, you're not just taking what I've sent, you're actually going through a line and matching it up.
That's correct.
Okay.
If we're satisfied with the information that you have provided us with, we'll recommend you for certification. And once your submission is certified, we will also notify you that, yes, we looked at it and we have no issues with you.
And I'm good to go for this period.
For that particular period.
I noticed that you emphasize that. But I have to ask, what happens if you don't like what you've gotten?
Well, similarly, if we look at it and we aren't satisfied with the information provided, we think that you have been withholding some information from us, or we are not satisfied with the level of growth in wealth versus what you have received in terms of income, then we'll refer it to another division within the Integrity Commission for further examination.
Will you notify me?
In some instances, yes, we do.
Okay, understand. I want to ask one more question right now because I know that these things can sometimes be a little intimidating to people. Can HR help?
Okay. So the Integrity Commission has partnered with human resource departments in all public bodies. So the public body human resource departments are who assists the process. So they disseminate the information with respect to who is required to file. And they also help us to collect the statutory declarations. So last year, because of what was happening in the environment, we asked that all public officials submit statutory declarations within their organization. And it went very well through the assistance of our publications and through the assistance of the human resource departments within the organization. So we have maintained that. And so the human resource departments have helped us to establish collection points within organizations where the declarants can submit.
Well, that definitely sounds like it makes it a little easier.
It does.
And I'm sure there are many who appreciate that. We're going to go to a break right now. We've been talking about this, and I have a few more questions for you. You're watching us. We're talking about the filing of statutory declarations. It's part of ensuring transparency within the public sector. After the break, we look at what this level of openness says for the government and the country, and we're going into a bit more of the practical details of getting it done. Stay with us.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up. Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence. A whole way of celebrating it. They say the people them, you know, them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, but no, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal, panta, medal. Amount of tongue we give them, The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report. I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre. Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration. Yeah. If you download the app to get the updates then.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. The deadline for filing statutory declarations, that's what we've been talking about, is March 31, 2022. We have reminded you of the process, and we're going to go through a few more details regarding statutory declarations as we continue where we left off in our first segment with Manager of Declarations, Joeth Jones-Hall. All right, Lady Hall, we're back at it. So, you mentioned certification, the examining of a submitted statutory declaration, but you also mentioned the public bodies and the country. Can you give us an idea of why this matters at the country level and the public bodies level?
Okay. So filing a statutory declaration is a legal obligation, but it also gives public officials an opportunity to say to the country and to the public on a whole that I am an honest public official.
Right.
I have nothing to hide.
Yes.
And so in that regard, I can declare to you that all my assets, all my wealth that I've gained since I've been in the public service is through what I've earned legitimately through the public service or any other source of income that I may have. If we're able to do this as a country, to say that we can look at all our public officials and say that, yes, we looked at them and everyone, we are all transparent, we have nothing to hide, and what we have accumulated in terms of wealth is through what we have earned.
Right.
It augurs well for us as a country. You know, there are other persons who look at us. For example, the persons who put together the scoring for the CPI index.
Right. Yes.
And if it is, I don't do the CPI, but if it is that they look at us and say, the public officials, it may augur well for that indicator as well.
It's trading in the currency of trust, which has literal economic benefits. Wonderful. All right, small question here. I mentioned that I went on the website and I looked at the form.
That's correct.
But can you just reiterate for us, how do I submit the form?
Okay, so you can submit the forms through your office. So we have collection points at most public bodies.
Right, we spoke about that in HR. Yes.
That's correct. You can come into our office and drop off at the drop box just through to March. We encourage you, though, to drop off at your public body because this is easier, it's more convenient.
Right.
You can also mail it in by registered mail. You can also ask a courier to drop it off at our office, 45 to 47 Barbados Avenue.
Several options there. The form, I am someone who, forms make me nervous. You know, I don't like forms, but hey, it's a legal requirement, as you mentioned. It's not about what you like or don't like. What are some of the common mistakes people make that you've seen on these forms? Okay,
one of the first mistakes most persons do is they enter the incorrect asset date. The asset date, for example, this filing period is December 31st, 2021.
Okay.
Some persons insert the incorrect TRN, which you must go over and ensure, because this is how we are able to track you and your submission.
Right.
Persons don't sign all the places that they need to sign at. Sometimes when the Justice of the Peace completes the form, the attestation on the form, some persons don't seal the document. The JP is required to sign and seal the document as well.
Okay, just some things to keep in mind, because these are the things that would make you have to refer back to the person and say, hey, this hasn't been done, that hasn't been done.
That's correct. And if you can assist this process, ensure that the document is completed properly. You have all your balances.
Yes.
So you ensure that you also not only insert the balances as at the 31st of December, but you also get your statements and append it to the statutory declaration form. Once you do that, it helps with the examination process. If you submit a complete form, it makes the process a whole lot easier.
I can imagine. We are almost out of time. I want, as your final word, how can people make it easier for themselves to complete this process?
I tell you, what I do, I'm required to file, and what I do is I make a date with myself on the 31st of December each year.
Right.
You sit down by your computer, you retrieve all your balances from online, and you put them in a file folder, and you ensure that you will have easy access to them. When you get, your statements as at the 31st of December from your banks, store them in a folder, and come, say January 30th, somewhere there, you sit again and just put all of those balances on the form. Right. Use the electronic form. If you use it this year, next year, you take the form and just amend, just change the balances, because in most instances you have the same bank account,
right, it's the same.
You have the same house, you have the same car.
So just an update.
Just an update, and that's it.
Very practical.
Very practical. The form can be done in just about an hour. Declarations are due come 31st of March 2022.
Yes.
Submit them now. Right. Don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait for the deadline. Start preparing your statutory declarations now, where you have declarations outstanding, so you know that you were eligible to file for 2018, 19, and 20, for example. Put those declarations together as well.
So I can file for past years?
File now. And I do advise that you do, once it is that you were eligible to file in those years, you have not submitted your statutory declaration, you can be asked by the Integrity Commission to submit those declarations. And it's best if you come to us rather than us coming to you. File those as well now.
Understood. Understood. So that's the encouragement. File on time and file all that you need to file. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Manager of Declarations at the Integrity Commission, Lady Joyeth Jones Hall. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.